In this video, I'm going to review and attempt to install one of these AliExpress aftermarket headlights for the Honda Navi. This is the stock one, as most of you know, not anything special, pretty basic. This one obviously looks a little bit better. It seems to be using a pretty standard 5 3/4 inch headlight. So I'm probably going to open this up and see how it's mounted in there. If it's mounted in a pretty easily removable way, it gives you a good option to mount any of these 5 3/4 inch headlights. And there's plenty of them on AliExpress or Amazon, anywhere that you look. So there's tons of options, and overall just look a lot better than the standard one. This one, it does look pretty well made. It's obviously not super insane, but I'd say it matches the quality of the original Honda Navi. The plastic it comes with is black. It is painted, as you can see, all the overspray and stuff on the inside, but the outside it looks good if you have a black one. This is pretty plasticky where my thumb is. It looks like it's using the same mounting system as the original Honda Navi headlight. I'll take it apart and see. I'll also take apart the sensor area just to see how it's all mounted and wired and stuff like that. So on it, for the plugs, it has two plugs. So it has the standard headlight plug that the Honda Navi has, but it also has this one. And with this, it doesn't show it on the ad, but it comes with a second key barrel. So a totally different one from stock. And it also comes with two keys. So they didn't just give you one. So this is good plug and play. And you don't have to buy anything or wire anything if that's something you don't want to do. I'm probably going to try and make this work with the stock key barrel just because that's what I prefer. But this gives you a good plug and play option. I'll probably test it with this and do the review involving this initially, but then I'll probably find another way to wire it to the stock barrel just for the people who want to do both methods. So yeah. Okay, so opening up the back cover of the headlight, honestly there's a lot more going on than I expected, but this is what it looks like on the back side. I'll probably continue taking it apart just to see what's all going on in here and how easy it would be to swap in any 5 3/4 inch headlight that you want. Because if it's pretty easy to switch in, I'd probably recommend this for people doing that. It does cost a little bit, but you at least get all this, the mounting and things like that. You don't have to make a custom bracket. Okay, so now I have it fully out. So as you can see, this was the actual headlight itself. I thought this was just a back cover, but it seems like if you were to install one of these, all you'd have to do is solder these wires that I'm touching right down here onto a board that I'm assuming comes with these headlights as like standard. So if you do get one of these, it seems pretty easy to switch in. All it uses is these little like like little brackets that screw in just to push down on the headlight, and that's what mounts it to the lens itself. So honestly, if you ever want to switch this out for a different one, or you need to replace it or anything, it seems stupidly easy to do that. So that seems kind of promising for future customization or just anything like that. Okay, so first step to the install is you want to come to the side of your headlight, and there's going to be 4 screws, so 2 on each side. So one there and one here, and the same on the other side. You want to remove those. After that, your headlight should just rotate up like that, like pivot like this, and you should be able to just pull it out. There's going to be a connector for the back of the headlight. You just remove that, and then your headlight's free. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I got those 4 screws removed, and as you can see, if you just give it a pull, it'll pivot out like that kind of. Then you should just be able to wiggle it free. And then there's one connector right there, like I said. So you just want to go in and remove that. And now your whole headlight's free out of the front of your Navi. So next step, unless if you want to keep the black plastic on the headlight, is to swap it over to this one. So all you have to do for that is remove the one bottom bolt down here. So remove the one bottom bolt, then you should be able to just take this, pivot this out of the actual plastic, and then do the same to this one and just swap them over, and you should be good. Okay, so I was actually wrong. So to take this out, there's also another step. There's these little black clips up here. All you have to do is get a flathead and basically just pry them out. They might just pop out, but yeah, you just take these out, and then after that you should be able to just take out the headlight housing like I said. Okay, so I just noticed this, but this is one slight downside. The actual dome lens on this is built into the outer plastic. So if you want to retain that, it's on the black piece, or you have to either take this out and glue it into there. I'll look into that as an option. Seems like it just clips in with these clips. On the original headlight, that outer lens was on the actual headlight assembly inside, so that wasn't an issue before, but yeah. Okay, so the lens does just pop out with these clips here, so that's another good thing at least, and it does seem like it fits in here. I'll obviously put it in, but that's another pro, because I didn't realize that that's something that you had to make if you were doing this custom like a lot of people used to do. They wouldn't install it with the lens, at least that I know of. They would just leave this exposed. Honestly, it looks pretty good like that. I'm just a little worried about water and things like that. Obviously this isn't sealed either, but still a better chance of rain and stuff not getting in there with a lens than just completely open. But buying this at least gets you a mount, a headlight, obviously, key barrel if that's easier for you for wiring and stuff, and a lens, which I haven't seen anybody do when installing one of these, or if they have, they've cut apart one of these. So yeah, that's another pro, but I'll get into this install again, so yeah. Okay, so I did get it to fit. You can sandwich it in there and then tighten down the bolt at the bottom to keep it there. I'll probably still add some glue. It does seem slightly smaller, but honestly, you don't notice it much. And it still adds a lens, which is nice. Or you can just leave it exposed like what I said. I'm going to put the lens on. I'll just add glue and all that, so I'll get back to you after that. Okay, so with the included key barrel, it seems like it doesn't want to start it. So don't use this one. So with it wired without the second connector right here that goes to the key barrel they include, and the original key barrel connected, does turn on, but this time it turns on the center. Yeah, center. And then if you hit the bright, it turns on the top one, stupidly bright. So the outer ring area, like right where my thumb is, and the bar LED in there, those aren't lighting up right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the green wire from this, depin it, and I'm just gonna connect it to the green one here, because like I said, when I had it apart, both this green and this green were wired to the same part on this board in here. So I'll just connect it like that and see what happens. The brown, like I said, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming it's a ground. Not too sure about that one though, but we'll find out. Okay, so to depin the pins out of that 2-pin connector I was talking about, you want to take some tweezers like this or something similar and look down the front of the connector, and on the tops, it's hard to see, there's a little cutout. That's basically for, on these there's this little tab, hard to focus, but little tab at the top of the connector. You can kind of see it, but little tab at the top of the connector. You want to push that down and the pin should just pull out. It might take a few times, but you'll eventually get it out. And then I'll just see what happens after that, and I'll find out what happens, or what this brown is for after. Okay, so after doing some testing, you want to take the brown wire. I just cut it and exposed it just for testing. You want to take the brown wire and go up to your key, the stock key, and you don't want to put it on this one, because this one always is live and it will always have power then constantly. You want to go to the opposite side on this white connector, the single wire white connector here, and you want to put it to this point. This point only gets power once the key is actually turned. So put it to this point. You can either depin this and just crimp this wire in there, or you can just however you want to, just get power through this, and then you get your outer rings and center ring to properly light up. And then after that, the actual LEDs up inside there, you can't really see it, but in the middle right in there at the top, those work out of the box. This one's low beam, then you turn on high beam, and then this one stays on and the top turns on. So those work, and then you finally have all the LEDs properly working. So yeah. Okay, so I removed my original key barrel. This is not the included one. This is the original Honda one. As you can see, only 2 pins coming off of it. What I'm going to do is, so I already took out the connector that's normally on there like that with that one wire, the one black wire that goes in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wire, splice it in to the same exact black wire like this. So then I have a second connector coming off like that. And then I'll take another connector, add it like this. So then the new headlight can just plug into this pin. We still have a plug that's the exact same to the OEM Honda harness. And the key is basically untouched other than just adding a second wire that comes off at this point like that. And then this connector will just plug into the headlight. So then we can still remove the headlight easily using a connector, obviously. And then if you ever want to take it off, you need it out of the way or something like that, you can still do that and it's not hardwired. You can do this any other way you want. If you really want to, you can hardwire it to this wire or the one inside the headlight housing over there. But as long as you get that brown wire to the black wire on the key barrel, you should be okay. So I'll do that now. Once I'm done with it, I'll show you the finished connector I made, just so it hopefully makes a little more sense than me explaining it. But yeah. Okay, so I finished modifying the stock key barrel. So if you ignore this connector, that's what it looks like stock. One connector like this with one wire going inside, and then there's one wire coming off. All I did is add a wire to the same exact pin to the same exact connector, just so that this can still plug in like normal, but that it also has the same plug, so that now it can plug into the headlight like normal right there. So just like that, as you can see, it plugs into the headlight, and you still have a slot open to connect it to the actual navi. So I'll plug it in and test it right now. Okay, so wiring is a little messy just because the headlight's pulling it down, but these are the 2 connectors that the key plugs in normally. So as you can see, those are plugged in. Here's that one extension, an added plug that goes to the exact same connector as the normal key. So the exact same black wire, it just comes out again down to the headlight. You also don't need this ground, by the way. And then the headlight plugs into the normal headlight connector. And as soon as you turn the key, like that, as you can see, the outer ring is illuminated and the center one, the center LED at the bottom is working. So you can see there. If I turn on the high beams, see now the top one's working. Yeah, so that's the complete wiring for this. After all this is done, you just have to put it back in, bolt this back up like normal, and then you should be good after that. Okay, once you finish modifying the stock key barrel, we can put it back in. So you'll want to feed it back to its keyhole like this, and it should only fully seat one way. You should kind of be able to just turn it like this, and you'll eventually get to click in. So like that, you can see it clicked in. Now it's in there. You can put the key in and out and it'll stay in. So just like that. Then your wires should be on the back side like this. So just like the original wiring was, you want to take this connector, plug it into one of these. So just like that, plug it in like that, and then find the red wire like this. That's not connected to anything, and plug it in. So just like that. And then this free connector here is obviously for your headlight. This one goes to your headlight. Those should be your only spare connectors. And after that's done, after you plug it in, you can just put it back on, put the 2 screws on each side, and it should be good. Okay, so this is what it looks like once it's finally installed. As you can see, that's with the lens and everything like that. I did go in silicone around the edges just to seal it a little bit more and keep it in. You don't necessarily have to. Like I said, the inside where the actual headlight is pushes up against it and kind of sandwiches it in. But I just did that just because why not? Overall, fitment's okay. I noticed this size of this headlight in the black one's a little bit smaller and differently shaped than OEM, but as you can see, you can make it work. I still got it to mount up right, everything like that. And original key works. Hard to see on camera, but the outer rings and the middle does light up. And while it's on, the bottom LED is also on. And if you turn on the brights, the top section, this top half turns on as well. So all the original wiring and all that is untouched, and the original key is still retained, which is something I wanted. So yeah, overall it seems stupidly bright. Can't really show much all inside, and the glue is still drying, so I don't want to really take it for a drive. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It does take a little bit of work to get it to fit, but overall it's something very easy and not hard at all to take as a project. I definitely recommend it, but it's not super cheap, but in my opinion, honestly, it looks pretty good, and it looks way better than the OEM, just chrome inner housing. So yeah.